Your dog just found the most disgusting puddle on the entire street. Green, murky, been sitting there since Tuesday. And before you can even say anything, it's already drinking. Head down, tail up, completely committed. And then, nothing happens. The dog's fine, wags its tail, trots off, probably licks your face in 20 minutes. Meanwhile, if you drank that same water, you'd be in bed for a week. So what's going on? How do animals drink water that would destroy a human and just walk it off? The answer isn't a single thing. It's a whole system, stacked layer on layer, built over millions of years of evolution. And it's not just your dog. This applies to almost every animal on the planet. Cats, horses, wolves, wild boar. Once you understand how it works, you'll never look at a muddy puddle the same way again. Before we get into the biology, let's clear something up, because the premise of this video is actually a little misleading. On purpose. Animals do get sick from dirty water all the time. In the wild, contaminated water sources kill animals regularly. The reason we don't think about this is simple. When an animal gets seriously ill, it hides, crawls into the undergrowth, stays out of sight. So when you watch a lion drink from a swamp and stroll away looking magnificent, you're not seeing the full picture. You're seeing a survivor. And this is the important part. Animals survive these encounters far, far more often than we would. And the reasons why are genuinely remarkable. The first line of defense is something we share with animals, but in a very different strength. Stomach acid. Human stomach acid sits between pH 1.5 and 3.5. Dogs consistently measure between pH 1 and 1.5, up to 10 times more acidic than ours. That's strong enough to dissolve bone, and it's exactly why dogs can eat raw meat that would hospitalize us. The stomach is essentially a kill chamber, a filter running at an intensity we can barely imagine. There's another factor on top of that: speed. Dogs and cats have short digestive tracts. Food moves through fast. That matters because bacteria need time to colonize. In a human gut, food sits long enough for harmful bacteria to multiply. In a dog, that window is much, much shorter. And here's something that doesn't get talked about enough: saliva. Dog saliva isn't just water and enzymes for digestion. It's an active antimicrobial weapon. Lysozyme, which ruptures bacterial cell walls. Lactoferrin, which locks up iron so bacteria starve. Peroxidase, another antibacterial enzyme. And immunoglobulins, antibodies on active patrol. Cats have a very similar setup, which is actually part of why they groom so obsessively. Every lick is a mild antimicrobial wash. Horses, interestingly, produce up to 10 liters of saliva a day, a continuous flow that dilutes and neutralizes incoming pathogens before they reach the stomach. Now we get to the most fascinating part. Inside every animal's gut lives an enormous ecosystem of microorganisms, a standing army. When a dog regularly drinks from the same stream or puddle, its microbiome and immune system adapt to the specific bacteria there. They learn it. I've encountered this before. I have a response ready. Familiar bacteria trigger a calibrated response. Completely novel pathogens, the ones the system has never cataloged, are where things can go wrong. It's not immunity, it's familiarity. This is also why it's not a great idea to let a domestic pet, used to filtered tap water, suddenly start drinking from unknown outdoor sources. Their microbiome was never primed for that. So far we've talked about carnivores, savage acid, fast pipes. But horses are herbivores. Their whole digestive system works differently. Horses are hindgut fermenters. Most digestion happens in the cecum and large intestine, holding over 200 liters, packed with thousands of competing bacterial species. New bacteria simply can't find room. That same density makes horses incredibly fragile, though. Sudden diet changes, stress, or antibiotics can collapse the whole ecosystem. The exact thing that protects them is also their biggest vulnerability. So why can't we do any of this? Fair question. And honestly, we used to be a bit better at it. For most of human history, clean treated water didn't exist. People drank straight from rivers, wells, streams. Instead of evolving a gut that could fight contamination, we solved the problem from the outside. We invented fire, cooking, eventually water treatment. We didn't build a better filter inside our bodies. We removed the contamination before it ever reached us. That trade-off worked extraordinarily well. Clean water infrastructure is one of the greatest public health achievements in human history. It saved hundreds of millions of lives, but it came at a cost. Our stomach acid is milder because cooking already kills most pathogens before we even swallow. Our microbiomes are less battle-hardened because we simply stopped needing them to be. We didn't get weaker. We redirected the effort. A dog evolved a kill chamber in its stomach. We built treatment plants. Different solutions, same problem. And honestly, our version scales a lot better. So next time your dog dunks its whole face into something that should probably be illegal, here's what's actually happening. Saliva hits first, a chemical wall of enzymes and antibodies. Whatever survives drops into a stomach acidic enough to dissolve bone. Anything still standing gets swept through a gut moving too fast for bacteria to settle in. And underneath all of it sits a lifetime of exposure that's quietly trained the immune system for exactly this moment. It's not one defense. It's 5, stacked on millions of years of trial and error. Animals aren't immune to dirty water. They're adapted to it. And that puddle your dog just drank from its perspective, that was never even a real fight.